Training camps are open.
That was Ron Jaworski live with us a little earlier. We've been doing the show a really long time. No one has ever said, I wish you could touch my skin to us before.
Skin? I mean, I almost wanted to shower after that.
Ron Jaworski was excited when he was on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. We are Mike and Mike, presented by Progressive Insurance, and you accused him of only being excited because quarterbacks get to go to training camp in red jerseys so nobody hits them.
Well, they do. I mean, listen, did I lie or did I tell the truth?
No, it's because you're a defensive tackle and you hate quarterbacks. Yeah. Thus, it is to your displeasure that I say welcome to the quarterback of your Cleveland Browns, Brian Hoyer, with us on Mike and Mike. How are you, Brian?
Hey, guys. I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
It is our pleasure.
Can I ask you this, Greeny?
Go ahead.
What would you say if I said a 28-year-old Brian Hoyer and a 51-year-old Mike Golick have a coach in common?
A coach in common?
A coach in common.
I would guess it's someone.
You're going to age him a little bit.
Someone you babysat for is now coaching?
No. When I was in high school, one of my coaches was Nick Restifo, and he has been at St. Ignatius forever, where Brian Hoyer, who's a Cleveland kid, went to high school and was Brian's coach at St. Ignatius. So Nick's got to be, 85 or 90 now at this point, doesn't he?
I don't know. He still seems young to me. I actually see him now that I'm back in town. We catch up from time to time, and so he was my offensive coordinator, so I'm assuming he was coaching you at back in high school.
Yes, back in high school. My tight end, he was an offensive coach as well, and I think he must have been 10 at that point, it seems.
All right, let's get to it here with Brian Hoyer. Your emotions as training camp is set to start. It's obviously been a very, very exciting offseason in the city of Cleveland for the Browns themselves. The selection of Johnny Manziel certainly had everybody talking. Now LeBron James comes in, so I have to believe there's an enormous electricity just around the city and around everybody there. What are your emotions as you get set to start training camp?
Yeah, for me, I'm just excited to get back and play football. You know, I'm coming off of the injury from last year, and I was able to participate pretty much fully in the off season. There were some limitations. They didn't want anyone rolling into my knee or anything like that. So I'm just excited to get back and play football the way it's meant to be played. And I know you guys mentioned the red shirts for the quarterbacks. I mean, I'm almost ready to get hit at this point and just get it over with and get going.
Yeah, I'm sure the coaches will feel the same way. I'm sure they'll say, yeah, go ahead and get hit out there in practice. I don't think that's going to happen.
It's just excitement for me at this point, and I put a lot of hard work in to get back as quickly as I could from the injury, and now here I am, 2 days away, and just at this point trying to relax these last 2 days, spend some time with my family, because I know once Wednesday rolls around, it's kind of like you're taking a deep breath and going under the water for about 6 months. So I'm just looking forward to it.
Talking to Brian Hoyer, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Talk about the mental part of this. And now the name happens to be Johnny Manziel, but forgetting that, you'll play a position, and in the offseason, your team picks that position in the first round. Immediately when that happened, and then it happens to be Johnny Manziel, who kind of, has a whole other set of baggage that comes with it. But just when a quarterback's taken in the first round that plays your position, what were your initial thoughts?
I kind of had an idea all along that they were going to draft a quarterback. I think everybody knew we were going to draft a quarterback. It was just a matter of, where and when. So it was actually almost a relief that when it was over, because I knew exactly where it was and who it was going to be that I was going to be competing with. And I think for me, I've had to compete my whole career, whether it was at Michigan State to get the starting job or at New England to be Tom's backup that first year. I had to compete with 3 other guys and so on. So, it's not anything that was a surprise to me, and it was expected. And I think, people would have thought they would have been crazy had they not drafted someone, because, I have a limited, resume, and I'm coming off of a major surgery. So I think everything was expected. And now, like I said, it was kind of out there in the open. We know who it was, and then you get back to football and compete.
In your circle of whoever your people are that you talk to and you listen to, when that happened and the quarterback was taken, what were their words of encouragement, or what did they have to say to you about that?
I think just kind of, be yourself and go in and work hard, and that's all you can do. I mean, all you can really ask for, especially at this point in my career and in this league, is an opportunity to compete for a starting job, and that's what I have, and I've got to make the most of it.
Mike and Mike, Brian Hoyer is with us. How did you feel you played last year? There were you seemed to open up a lot of eyes, including those
he played well.
Of the 4 eyes sitting up here. We were impressed with the very little bit, as you mentioned, that you got a chance to do before your injury. And the team was playing well when you went down with injury. How did you feel you played last year?
Good for, really my first starts. I mean, I started with Arizona the year before, but I'd only been there for 2 weeks. So it was, my first real time to start and play with a team and an offense that I'd been a part of for at least an off season. And I thought things were going well. Obviously, the Minnesota game, there were some ups and downs, but to finish it with a game-winning, touchdown drive, that kind of capped it off. And then come back the next week and beat a division, opponent at home in a close game. That was good. And then obviously the injury happened. So, it's kind of like those things where you know an opportunity is going to come along at some point, and you just want to take advantage of it when it does. And I felt like I was doing that, and obviously it was taken away from me by the injury. So now I'm just trying to get back and pick things up where I left them off last year.
And Brian, talk about the offense a little bit. It looks like you probably play the year without a Josh Gordon, a guy who played so well last year and certainly has his issues off the field. But the rest of the weapons there and that offense and what you're looking at.
Sure. I mean, we have a great plethora of weapons, I would say. You first start off with the Pro Bowl tight end Jordan Cameron, who was awesome this offseason. He's a hard worker. He learns quickly and really picked up the system that Kyle Shanahan brought in. And I guess while I'm talking about Kyle, I really love the system that he has. I mean, it's very versatile. You look at his history throughout the league. There's times where they led the league in rushing. There's times where they led the league in passing. So, I'm really excited about that. And then you move out, we signed Ben Tate from Houston, who I'm really excited about. He showed some great things in the spring, and he drafted a guy like Terrence West, who I actually saw, they had the Towson game from last year, and I popped that on, and man, it gets you excited to get to see him out there in pads and running guys over. And, you go to our receivers, and I've been throwing with Miles Austin and Travis Benjamin and Andrew Hawkins. Oh, my God, that guy, he jumps out like a lightning rod when he's out on the field. He's a hard worker. He goes 120% on every play, even if he's not getting the ball. And then you talk about veterans like Nate Burleson, Anthony Armstrong, and go right down the line. I think we have, we might not have one big name, but I like our group as a whole.
Mike and Brian Hoyer is the quarterback of the Browns, is with us. As far as Gordon is concerned, it's a challenging situation to say the very least. Have you had a chance to talk to him? Do you have any sense how he's doing?
I've reached out to him. I like to keep that between he and I, and I think just, the main thing is that we're here to support him and help him get through this time.
And then a final thought for you, Brian, and we appreciate the time and the fun here, and we wish you the very best of luck. Obviously, Mike phrased the question earlier, anytime a quarterback comes in, you're going to be competing. But this isn't just any quarterback. What has been your take so far on Johnny Manziel? What has your relationship been like with him, and what are you expecting between the two of you going forward as it gets going the end of this week?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's we're teammates, so we come in, and he works hard. He's in there trying to learn just like I am, and he's just as big of a competitor as I am, and that's going to bring out the best in both of us, I think. And we go out there, and we're going to try to play to the best of our abilities. And really, when it comes down to it, I want the best quarterback to play for this team. If that's not me, then that's fine. Especially being from here, I want this team to succeed. So I'm going to, go out there and play to the best of my ability, and he's going to do the same. And whoever earns it will be out on the field.
That's a good perspective. Well, do you have a selfie with Justin Bieber?
No. I might have one with my 2-year-old son, but that's about it.
Is his name Justin Bieber?
No, it's not.
Oh, that's funny.
Listen, Brian,
funny.
We very much appreciate the time.
We
One
do.
Cleveland boy here is rooting for you.
Listen, I really am.
Thank
a Cleveland kid there. I mean, really rooting for you. Even though you're a quarterback, you get to put on a red jersey during training camp. That's okay. Making Cleveland proud. I hope that continues. Thanks for the time, Brian.
Thank you.
Good luck,
guys,
Brian.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. That's Brian Hoyer, quarterback of the Browns. Very likable.
Really
easy guy to root
kid.
for us. First time we talked to him. Very easy guy to root for.
You believe we had a mutual coach in high school?
Well, I mean, there's so many jokes that
Why?
I can insert.
What's the jokes? He's a good coach. Nick Restifo did a nice job. Listen, where did I play?
Yes, you did.
Hoyer playing in the league?
Yes, he is.
We have a common high school coach, one of our coaches.
He's obviously he's obviously the Paul Brown of Ohio high school coaching.
He's a good dude.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is.
You just don't want to go down any of those.
I'm not making fun of him. I'm trying to make fun of you, and I can't figure out a way to do it. We'll be right back, Mike and Mike.
On January 23, 2014, the Cleveland Browns named Mike Pettine head coach. a proud blue-collar town sitting hard on the southern shore of Lake Erie, Cleveland welcomed a football lifer who shared its values. Pettin is a progressive thinker with deep roots in the game, the son of one of the most successful high school coaches in America.
All my roots, all my foundation still goes back to my dad. He was just pure football through and through. He gave me the advice that I think a lot of good parents give, is that find a job that you love and you never work a day in your life. And I've been fortunate to pair my passion with my profession. Good check, Carlos.
Pettin is a traditionalist who fully embraces time-honored virtues like integrity and accountability.
You got a piece of that? You got a piece of that one? Yeah. We're going to set high standards for our players. They're going to be graded hard on every snap, whether it's a snap in practice or a snap in a game. The standards will be high. We're going to hold those players accountable.
Pettin will demand from his players that they do things the right way. And from the best fans in the NFL, he will ask for the respect that effort deserves. This is a story of possibility and promise. Of a confident head coach, certain he can turn a group of men into a team of champions.
He paid for you.
It's a German luxury sedan, but it's still an Audi. The Audi A4, performance with the right attitude. Get exceptional offers on the Audi A4 during the Summer of Audi event. Visit AudiOffers.com today.
Unleash yourself. Introducing the Satellite Click series.
When you think Joe's Crab Shack, you don't think of hot dogs on the grill. And that's just fine by us. The new Grill Daddy Steam Pot. 2 kinds of crab and shrimp, seasoned with the bold flavors of a beach grill. Hurry, just like summer, they won't last.
Break the ice with breath-freshening, cooling crystals. Icebreakers.
It's about football.
Oh my gosh.
It's about the events.
This is the best NFL experience I've ever had in my life.
It's about the access.
It's the best. It's the best.
This is the rock star style.
It's about the moment. Don't just watch it, live it. Ticket experiences direct from the NFL.
This is amazing.
Visit NFLOnLocation.com.
A look back at 2013.
Yeah!
Relive the memorable moments from all 32 teams.
The Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl.
The Year in Review continues tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network.
Oh my, Brady is on fire.
The story of the 2014 Cleveland Browns cannot be told without a look back at the 2013 season. A season tightly woven into the fabric of a passionate city optimistic about its future and that of its football team. A new head coach with Ohio roots and 2 previous stops as a Browns assistant. A sophomore running back coming off a strong rookie year, poised to power an offense that featured 2 of the best offensive linemen in the game. And a second-year quarterback who flashed enough to make you think he might be the answer. An opening day loss at home was followed by a road defeat in Baltimore. A game that saw Brandon Weeden leave with an injured thumb. The bottom line, 1 offensive touchdown through 2 weeks. On September 18th, the Browns dramatically charted a new direction. Trent Richardson was traded. and Whedon's status as the Browns' starting quarterback was forever changed. Two bold moves. A season so quickly on the brink was revived. Cleveland native Brian Hoyer led the Browns to consecutive wins. The first, a come-from-behind fourth-quarter thriller on the road at Minnesota.
1st and 10 at the Minnesota 47-yard line. Here's Hoyer out of the shotgun. Plenty of time, going long. Gordon's wide open. Caught it. 10, 5, touchdown. 47-yard touchdown pass. Brian Hoyer to Josh Gordon.
Keep it up. We'll do it all day long, huh?
2nd down and 11 at the Viking 19-yard line. Here's Hoyer straight back, looking, plenty of time throwing. Cameron's open, and he makes the catch in the right corner of the end zone. Touchdown! 3rd and goal. They snap it back. Hoyer's got it. Right corner of the end zone. Jordan Cameron's got it! Touchdown! The Browns score a touchdown with 51 seconds left. It is over, and it's a Browns come-from-behind win.
The following week, Hoyer made his hometown debut against division rival Cincinnati. He completed 25 passes for 269 yards. Most importantly, he did not turn the ball over. The defense played its part, holding the Bengals without a touchdown. Joe Hayden and Tashawn Gibson led a secondary that shut down Cincinnati's passing game. Hayden held A.J. Green to 51 yards and 7 yards per catch.
17-6 Browns, 3:49 to go in the game. And it's picked off on a deflection. Buster Screen's got it. Boy, this defense, I'll tell you what.
The Browns had won 2 straight, with the Thursday night national television game next on the schedule.
Thursday night. Let's go, prime time.
On Cleveland's second offensive series, a season of renewed promise took a heartbreaking turn.
What a play by Hoyer. He kept it alive, and then said, I got to get out of here. And Hoyer is injured.
Oh, boy.
Brian Hoyer's season was over. The Browns had to carry on. They rebounded with a torrent of big plays that produced their 3rd consecutive victory.
Benjamin runs to his right, catches at the 21. He's going to go way wide left, then cuts it back. 25, he's going outside again. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45, cut back. 35, 30, at the 20, at the 15, at the 10, at the 5. He's gone. Touchdown. 79-yard return by Travis Benjamin. First Energy Stadium is roaring. Going long, down the left sideline, towards the end. Touchdown! It's Josh Gordon! Shotgun snap, Tool back to pass, throws to the middle, back off, and there he goes! Down the sideline, T.J. Ward, 10-5, touchdown!
High times in Cleveland were tempered by the loss of Hoyer. A 3-game losing streak followed. Then, on the 9th Sunday of the season, the Browns returned home to face defending Super Bowl champion Baltimore. 11 straight losses to the Ravens hung in the air. The defense set the tone with 5 sacks of Joe Flacco. They were complemented by a 3-touchdown, mistake-free performance by Jason Campbell.
Campbell rolls right, got a man open, it's touchdown!
A late field goal by Billy Cundiff sealed the 24-18 victory.
And the Browns have beaten the Baltimore Ravens!
It was the Browns' last win of 2013. Consecutive last-minute defeats to Jacksonville and New England punctuated the trying season. Yet, there were many bright moments, snapshots that reflected the young talent that marks this roster. Josh Gordon became the first Browns player to lead the NFL in receiving yards.
Gordon caught it. He's at the 35, 40, 45, 50. Here he goes. 35, 30. touchdown at 5.5. Looks right, comes back to the left, going long for Gordon. He's out there, and he caught the ball at the 20, at the 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
Jordan Cameron led all AFC tight ends in both receptions with 80 and yards with 917. He was rewarded with a trip to the Pro Bowl. In addition, his 7 touchdown catches were the most by a Browns tight end since Ozzie Newsome caught 9 in 1979. On defense, Joe Hayden had another outstanding season, reaffirming his place among the NFL's most respected corners. His first Pro Bowl selection was validation.
Dolph back to pass. He throws, and it's intercepted. Joe Hayden's got it at the 12.
The 2013 Browns featured 6 Pro Bowlers. But the final 2 months took its toll, and a change was needed.
Whatever USA! It's the real town Bud Light is building right now for people that are up for absolutely anything. People often ask, is whatever USA a one-trick pony? No, it's a 2-trick pony. 3 if you count the town's boatload of Bud Light. 4 if you count Queen of Clubs. Is that your card? Of course it was.
Bud Light is creating a town this summer, and you could go. Find out more at upforwhatever.com.
Vistaprint always has great prices, but a sale this big only happens twice, as in 2 times, as in now, and once more, but that's many, many months from now. The Vistaprint semi-annual sale. Really big discounts, up to 50% off, as in half price, as in huge savings across the site on stuff that gets you more customers, as in postcards, as in banners, as in brochures. Oh, and of course, business cards. Hurry to Vistaprint.com and enter promo code SAVEBIG, as in save big on all the items I just mentioned, which I won't repeat because it's all on Vistaprint.com, which you should go to right now. The Vistaprint semi-annual sale ends July 22nd.
Celebrate your first Super Bowl win, Seahawks fans.
They're bringing the trophy home.
With the official NFL Films highlight commemorating Seattle's championship season.
They are blowing the roof off this place. 12, your Seahawks, Super Bowl 48 champion.
You can relive the Seahawks' entire glorious season with Super Bowl 48 champions. Own it now on Blu-ray or DVD.
When I was younger, I didn't want to admit I had a serious disease. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be a normal kid. Because of my diabetes, I lost the sight in my left eye. Misconceptions continue to surround this monster public health issue. But the simple truth is, diabetes can often be prevented and complications avoided. I think if I had just been open and honest about what my challenges were, I think it would have been easier for me to take better care of myself. If you don't take care of yourself when you're younger with this condition, it will catch up to you later on. To manage this disease for the rest of your life by reaching out for help. Reach out to people who care about you, reach out to people who know how to help you with this disease. You're not alone. Understand the realities of diabetes and know that you can manage it and lead a full, active life.
Mike Pettine may be from Pennsylvania, but his blue-collar roots and direct manner will make Clevelanders feel he's one of theirs.
Cut split work.
Pettine knows the rules. He will be judged by one thing. There are no gray areas.
I think that this is a bottom-line business, and it's all about winning. We're going to build a team that is going to be capable of winning every game that when we step on the field. We're going to have confidence that we can win every game, and we're going to build a plan to win every game. I just want the Cleveland fans to know that we're going to put a team out on the field that they can be proud of. It's going to come down to the fall and winning football games. I was raised to understand that football is a tough sport for tough people. I think at its core that's what it is. We want to be the toughest team on the field. I think toughness wins in the NFL. Football changes over time, but I think when it all boils down to it, the tougher team is going to win most of the time. We're going to knock people back, and we're going to knock guys on the ground, and we're not going to help them up.
For Pettine, it starts with defense.
Reload it.
He's dynamic and cutting edge, always expanding the boundaries.
Like, we went to that model in New York just because we were going against Welker and Bess and those small guys in the slot. But if you were high cut as a DB, you had no chance. You have to have an attack mentality. I don't like to use the word or use the phrase read and react. We don't really use the word fit where we talk about that. To me, that has a sense of passiveness to it, where we're, hey, I just got to make sure I'm in my gap. Where we want to be in attack mode, we want to knock linemen back. We want to get in guys' faces on the outside, take advantage of the one rule that really is in the defensive favor is the 5-yard contact rule, where why wouldn't you take advantage of that? Why would you give these elite receivers free access into your secondary?
Dalton back, looking near side, throws it, picked off, and an open run. It's Joe Hayden, and he's in. Touchdown!
Oh, A.J. Green is frustrated.
Our system is built on strong corner play. The ability to match up, to lock those guys up outside and play 9 against 9 and close the middle of the field.
The Browns have one of the NFL's best man-to-man corners in Joe Hayden.
And it's picked off! Joe Hayden!
To maximize Pettine's philosophy, they needed one more, and they targeted that player in the 2014 NFL Draft.
With the 8th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Justin Gilbert, defensive back, Oklahoma State.
Justin Gilbert has the size, speed dynamic Pettine looks for.
We'll tell the guys right from day one, we want to coach you how to play, not how hard to play. And people have asked me, how does we look at your defense, those guys play so hard. And it's like, listen, we find guys that play that way and we get rid of the rest.
No one typifies that attitude better than Jabal Sheard. In 2013, Sheard became the first Browns player to lead the team in quarterback sacks 3 consecutive seasons.
We have the phrase, play like a Brown, and that's passionate, competitive, relentless, play like your hair's on fire. And if you had to ask me, pick one player that typifies that would be Jabal. I mean, he's the poster child for plays like a Brown.
In Pettine's aggressive system, expect Sheard and Barkevious Mingo to be featured pass rushers. Mingo, Cleveland's first-round pick a year ago, showed dominant flashes.
Mingo coming, and he got a sack! Welcome, Mr. Mingo!
He's another guy, great attitude, great work ethic, and then there's some things he does that you just can't teach. His ability to just short area quickness, his length, another guy that's relentless to the football.
Safety Tashawn Gibson, an undrafted free agent, had a breakout season in 2013. He led all AFC safeties with 5 interceptions.
Steps up, fires, middle for Marshall, intercepted again by Gibson. He's back 35, he's to the 30, 25, 20, he's to the 10, he's to the 5, touchdown!
Paul Kruger is a young veteran. He has a championship ring with the 2012 Ravens. Winning experience is critical to Pettine. It compelled the free agent signings of Dante Whitner and Carlos Dansby.
We brought in a Carlos Dansby because we wanted a guy that has played on winning teams, that has played good defense, that has some fire to him, some passion to him, a guy that can be out on the field for 3 downs. He's going to be a big part of what we're doing. Dante Whitner, you improve the middle of the defense that way. I think that was a tremendous get for us. It's something that gave me chills when I heard his opening press conference when he talked about how important it was for him to come back to this, to not just improve the Browns, but to help the city of Cleveland, being from here. I mean, I think it's special for him.
Hometown pride in a revitalized city. A new frontman to lead its most prized civic treasure. And a loyal fan base ready for the show.
Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
Stand back, Suburbia. Behold, the Craftsman Tractor. With an industry-leading 6-inch turning radius that's 66% tighter than a John Deere tractor. And with a top speed of 7.5 miles per hour, it's 26% faster. It's the antidote to other tractors. That's the quality and innovative performance you can expect from Craftsman. Exclusively at Sears.
Seahawks fans, your team just won Super Bowl 48. And now, direct from NFLShop.com, you can own the Seahawks Super Bowl 48 collection, which includes a t-shirt, hat, towel, and Blu-ray. It's the official Super Bowl product worn by players and coaches during the post-game celebration, and the official Blu-ray of Super Bowl 48. Don't miss out on this great opportunity. Own a piece of Seahawks history and visit NFLShop.com now.
Monday on Total Access, we're talking NFC West, John.
Well, we know about the Super Bowl chance. We know about the San Francisco 49ers. But what about those other two teams?
Don't sleep on the Cardinals or the Rams. We'll tell you why. Monday, 7 Eastern.
Touchdown, Phillip Rivers called his own number.
We constantly hear it's a quarterback-driven league. Mike Pettine has an interesting take on the position and the role it plays in team building.
It is a copycat league, and people are going to look at and I've talked about this a bunch, whether it's the Seattle model, the San Francisco model. When people have asked about, hey, are you going to build it around the quarterback? Well, that's great to build it around the quarterback, but that quarterback has to be there. And I think where some teams have gotten into trouble is where they've anointed somebody and kind of hoped that was the guy, and it wasn't. And in the meantime, weren't able to build around it. I think you minimize the importance of the quarterback by being an outstanding team.
The lesson? Don't sacrifice building a team in pursuit of the Holy Grail. You will only be disappointed. Remember that Brian Hoyer started 3 games in 2013 under very trying circumstances. The Browns won all 3 games.
When I look at quarterbacks, you're looking for the physical, that's important, who is quarterback, but you're also looking for the it factor. And I think Brian's got it.
I got you. Yep.
He's got a subtle confidence about him. I think when he has to get on a teammate, he'll do it, but not in a demeaning way.
Hey, bring it up, fellas, real quick.
You could tell he's all business. He's all about football.
Hey, I know there's been some play calls. That's on me, okay? But we got to get back to how we were in the beginning. In and out of the huddle quick. Receivers, in and out of the huddle quick. I'll make sure we get the play call better, all right? Let's get going and get this thing rolling, man. We're playing 4 quarters of football today, okay?
It's going to take quite an effort from somebody to supplant him as our starter.
With the 22nd pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Johnny Manziel, quarterback, Texas A&M.
2 high-level competitors will battle for the starting quarterback job. That's exactly what Pettine wants. Competition at every position. The Browns offense starts with the men up front, led by 2 former first-round picks, center Alex Mack and tackle Joe Thomas. Remarkably, neither has missed a snap in their respective careers.
Here we go now, let's go. Let's go, fellas, bring it here. Let's go now.
Thomas, chosen 3rd overall in the 2007 draft, has started 112 consecutive games. In 2013, he joined Hall of Famer Jim Brown as the only 2 Browns to make the Pro Bowl in each of their first 7 seasons.
Don't punch me like that. Hey, it's called blocking. I'm looking for flags, but I don't see one.
When you look at the Browns now, the first guy you probably think of is Joe Thomas. Been that cornerstone at left tackle. Ultimate professional.
This guy came over the top right now.
Mack is a 2-time Pro Bowler, and his re-signing was a high priority for the Browns organization.
Ramming to the guy on the right.
That was an issue that we were going to have to address very quickly when we watched the tape. It was we could not let this guy out the door. He's a special player. He's among the elite centers in the league. I think he will excel in the scheme that we're getting ready to run offensively, the inside-outside zone. I mean, he is built for that type of scheme.
The signing of Ben Tate was a key piece of the puzzle. Tate spent his first 3 years with the Houston Texans, where he learned the nuances of the zone run game. As he begins his first season in Cleveland, Tate has a chip on his shoulder. He is determined to prove he can be the feature back in a physical offense whose foundation is the run. Another key offseason signing was Andrew Hawkins. Few wide receivers are as quick or can work from the slot as effectively as Hawkins. Expect him to have an important role in the Browns' pass offense. The AFC North has always had an old-school feel, firmly steeped in the game's roots. Toughness, resilience, perseverance. It's always been more grit than glitter, more courage than glamour. Pettine's 7 years with the Ravens shaped his worldview.
My vision here in Cleveland, having spent time in Baltimore, to compete in the AFC North, you have to be willing to bloody your nose a little bit. This team is going to be built on toughness. Most people think of toughness in just the physical sense. I think as important or more important is the mental toughness.
Let's go, come on now.
The ability to think through things when they aren't going well.
I'm like this.
To hang tough when things go bad. The heads don't drop and it's same old Browns and teams talk themselves into losing. That to me is the culture that needs to be changed here.
Pettine's mandate embodies the essence of coaching. Transform a collection of individual talent into a team worthy of championship contention. Pettine will have the support of a fanatical fan base yearning for a winner.
The one thing that I've always admired the city of Cleveland, no matter how the year was going for the Browns, just how passionate the fans were, how loyal. We've already talked about in team meetings how satisfying it will be to bring a winner to the city that's deserved one for so long.
The confidence of a new head coach, the passion of a city. The 2014 Cleveland Browns will be a team worth watching.
The NFL